Oh Dior, you have done something special with this collection. I think you really have. Who'd have thought I would be saying that about a Dior Backstage blush, that one dab was enough for my whole cheek. Hi everybody, so today it is one of my absolute favourite reviews to do on my channel, which if you know is Dior. You know I love a Dior collection if you follow this channel, and this one is such an exciting one because it is full of glow. I have gone a little bit bonkers. I've got all of these, you can just about see without me tipping, from this summer collection. Nearly all of them, to be honest, apart from the superbly strong shades. So I'm actually going to try all of these on together. So I'm going to group them into colours so you can see the glow stick, the blush, and the powder and the lip all together in the same shade. So you can see how they all work together, how they might work separately, so you can decide which one you might want, whether you want to get all of them and layer them. That's what we're going to be looking at today. And for my very final look, I will include it on the eyes. So it'll be a complete look using just this collection and just in the one matching shade. I really can't wait to get started with this one. I've got swatches for you. I've also got some powder blush comparisons for you with the original formulas, because the powder blush have changed 3 times. So we're looking at the new formulation, but I'm just going to tell you very quickly, a spoiler, this formulation, I think they've cracked it. I think this might be the one. That's why I'm so excited. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I review the latest products, show you my favourite looks and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I would love it ever so much if you did subscribe to my channel. Lots of you are tuning in without subscribing, so if you could, please, it's so very, very helpful to me and it means a lot to me. If you already are subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. And if we're going to look at my skin tone with how these shades might match up with me, I've got mostly cool tones that lean a little bit neutral, fair to light skin, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into this review. So before I start this review, I wanted to show you something because I thought it was rather fitting with this collection because they just pair together nicely, even though they're very, very different products. I've been sent probably the most beautiful PR I've ever been sent. I'm not sponsored to say this, I am choosing to give you this video, although they have given me a discount code, not one I have any commission from, but I just had to show you this because honestly I think it's the most beautiful package I've ever received. I don't know if you'll guess when I show you what this box is, but this came from Rose Forever in New York. This is a company that launched in 2019 and they have luxurious real rose boxes. These are natural roses that will last up to a year. So I was able to choose my box because there's lots of different boxes. I'll pop some pictures up now on the screen. You can get this in different colours, different shapes, different sizes. You can even get it in a clear box which has a pull-out drawer for keeping your jewellery in. I think they are exceptionally beautiful. But on the website, the pictures of these flowers does not do it justice because I have to say, I was so wowed when I got it. So let me just show you, let me reveal the opening. These are to touch, to feel, to look at, exactly the same as a fresh rose you would see on a rose bush. Just look at the beauty of these. I mean, I shouldn't touch them because I should be just looking after them, but they are just completely preserved as you would see them if they were picked fresh from a rose bush. Look how sensational that is. So these bouquets are handcrafted by professional flower artisans, and all the material used to cover the boxes are fully vegan. Even the pink, suede and the velvet, all vegan. And you can also get this in special colours such as violet, black and several other different colours, and when they do that they use a process which is completely natural to keep the rich, intense shades completely clear for the whole year. And I have heard that this lasts over a year for many people, so you get a minimum of a year, and I've got to find somewhere very special to keep this. I would like to put it in my display behind me, which I might do at some point. I haven't quite decided, but I have to say where I'd most like to put this is somewhere really special for me. So I lost my mum a few years ago and she loved roses, and I've got a photo of me and my mum And I really want to just place this next to my mum like it's her gift, as I would have given to her if it was Mother's Day. I did actually receive this after Mother's Day as in the US, Canada, Australia. I know many of you celebrated Mother's Day recently. Here in the UK, Mother's Day is March, but this would be a perfect Mother's Day gift. So maybe something to think about for next Mother's Day, or a birthday for a mum coming up, or a grandma, or for anyone who loves roses. A perfect romantic gift, Valentine's gift, anniversary gift, or just treat someone you love, because I would like this any day of the year. Look at it, it is just stunning. And these are inspired by Parisian chic style. The smell of roses is quite strong coming from here as well, so they haven't lost their smell. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. I adore it. Thank you so very much to Rose Forever for sending this to me. It truly is the most beautiful thing I think I've received since starting my channel. Thank you so much. So I've been given a coupon which will be valid for 30 days from the day that I post this video. So you've got 30 days to use it if you want to purchase these, and it will give you £20 or $20 off. It doesn't matter if you're buying them in the UK, because there is now a UK shop, or if you're buying them in the US. You can use my code to get your $20 off. And my code is HAN20. So anyway, I just thought this was very fitting because I'm going to start my first Dior look today with pink. So isn't this just perfect? Pink Dior and pink roses. I just thought it was the perfect time to introduce this to you. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at these as much as I am enjoying looking at them. And thank you again. I'm over the moon with them. So now moving into the Dior review, I'm going to be going through this in several different looks and trying them all on together. So because I'm trying all the products on together, I'm not going to individually go through them and tell you about the products. I'm going to do all of that now and then move to the looks. So let's talk first of all about these blushes. So these blushes, they're in their third reformulation. I do actually have this pink one here in the very first formulation, so we can look at that. I don't have it in the second, but I do have a second one to look at when it comes to the lilac, the pink lilac. So this is the very first here, shade 001 pink, and here is the new one. So let's look at the two of them side by side. Definitely not the same shade looking at it there, is it? It's definitely a bit cooler, I'd say, this one. This is the one that sent this brand, not this brand because Dior's always been huge, this particular line viral. This was just huge when it launched and everyone was raving about it. They are pH adjusting, I believe, all of these, but it was just the finish on these and the glow. This was all over several different platforms, very, very popular. And this one didn't show up too much, but just about worked on my skin tone. I don't think it would have worked for many other people, but the biggest problem with this and the secondary formulation, the biggest complaint, was it wasn't buildable enough and not enough pigment, which is something they're now promising with this new formulation. So they've also changed the shape. The packaging is quite similar, as in both of them show the colour of the blush through the top with the Dior symbol. The new one is obviously a square shape, and both of them have this mirror inside, and the top is obviously slightly different. I must say I prefer the new design. I just think it's just slightly more fancy. But let's now look at a swatch of the two of them. And I know from swatching them in my swatch video, which I will be playing for you in a minute, that I definitely felt I was picking up a lot more product from this new one. Straight away I can feel the difference. So here is the new one on the left here, and here is the first formula on the right. So it's definitely a different shade of pink, and I've definitely picked up a lot more powder. But from all the ones I've swatched, the new version of the pink is definitely the lightest shade and probably the least pigmented out of all of them. So here is the new one, and here is the original one. But the thing here is you might see a difference in shade. So this one's more cool and more brightening, which is actually brilliant for me personally as a cool tone person. But I can definitely feel that when I go back, I pick up a lot more product, and I can see how it would be buildable. So I've just added a bit more there. Look how it's built up already. Now if I go into the original and try and build, we'll see how much that one builds. That one builds a bit, but I would say the new one is definitely building more. The old one has much more of a fine sort of texture. The new one is definitely more powdery and thicker. Definitely more buildable, but we are definitely seeing quite a difference in shades. And the description on the website said this blush offers long wearing, buildable, which it is, custom colour powered by a formula featuring a technology that reacts to the skin's pH to create your own personalised colour. Rosy Glow gives skin an instant healthy glow and is now even more buildable, powered by a formula concentrated in pigments, which I can absolutely see from these swatches. And like I said, you will see much more of that with these stronger shades as we continue through this review. It's ultra fine, lightweight, blends seamlessly with the skin for a touch of natural colour with a weightless second skin result. There are 7 shades. I've picked up 4. I've picked up 5. I've just left out the 2 that are too dark. I'll pop both of those up on the screen for you now. Those ones are too dark for my skin tone. There are 2 different types of finishes. We have natural blur finishes and we have pearly finishes. And this one is a natural finish, not a pearly finish. So here is my swatch video of all of the ones that I have picked up.
Here we go again, you think by now I know better. Locked in my head, romanticizing forever. Last love I found, knees met the ground and all my roses died. Swore I was through, but looking at you, I think I changed my mind. Yeah, let's fall in love for the fun of it. Dive in at first and all of it. Oh, what a rush, looking into your eyes, playing it off like it's different this time. Let's break our own hearts for the fun of it. One look and I'm dying to run the risk. I'll live in your head for the rest of your life. Oh, won't you be my...
So next we're going to look at this new product, which is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Stick. So there are 7 of these and I've picked up 4 of them. So before I do anything else, let me just show you my video swatching them. So here it is.
Here we go again, you think by now I know better. Locked in my head, romanticizing forever. Last love I found, knees met the ground and all my roses died. Swore I was through, but looking at you, I think I changed my mind. Yeah, let's fall in love for the fun of it. Dive in at first and all of it. Oh, what a rush, looking into your eyes, playing it off like it's different this time. Let's break our own hearts for the fun of it. One look and I'm dying to run the risk. I'll live in your...
So you can see these look absolutely stunning, don't they? And I love the packaging. I love the way you can see the colour of the product because it is definitely running through the outer shell, and then you can see the Dior logo coming through, which is there on the inner case. I just think it is superbly stylish. It's also quite a lot bigger than the Maximizer. In the pictures that I thought it was the same sort of size packaging as the Maximizer, but just to give you an idea, it's actually almost double the size. So some of the information on this one, it says the Dior blush stick offers 12 hours of custom colour and a dewy glow finish that reflects light for cheekbones that appear enhanced and plumped. Powered by a unique technology, each shade reacts to the skin's pH and takes on either a cool pink or a warm coral undertone. Moisturising and comfortable, the creamy texture of the Rosy Glow blush stick blends seamlessly with the skin for a bare skin effect and a clean look. There are 7 shades in this, so I've picked up 4, so I'll show you the 3 I didn't in a minute. And the finishes, there's 2 types of finish, the dewy glow finish, 3 is it? 2 dewy glow finishes, radiant and pearlescent. Okay, so does that mean there's 3, or is it dewy and glowy or radiant and pearlescent? I think that's what it means. I will check now. Yeah, that's all the information. So I'll just look at the ones I didn't pick up. So I didn't pick up 006 Berry and I didn't pick up 015 Cherry Well, I have to say it's very difficult not to pick every shade up of this, and if I fall in love with them today, I very well might go back and get the ones I didn't get. Actually, they were the only two I didn't get. I did actually get 5, not 4. I forget how many I got. So yeah, it was just those 2 that I skipped. It's going to be one of those days, I'm afraid, guys, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I'm having one of my jumbling on my words up days, as usual. One of my gifts with purchase, by the way, with these hair clips. I did actually get 2 with my purchase, so here is how they arrived. And they are quite pretty. They're not the most expensive gift with purchase I've had from Dior, in all honesty. I love them, I really do, and I can see me getting lots of use out of them, probably more than I do with a normal gift with purchase. But they're a little bit basic and not very posh compared to what I'm used to getting with a gift. But anyway, I'm not complaining, I'm really not. Then the third product release were these new glow butters. These are the Dior Addict lip glow butters. So here is my swatch video of the ones I did pick up.
Here we go again, you think by now I know better. Locked in my head, romanticizing forever. Last love I found, knees met the ground and all my roses died. Swore I was through, but looking at you, I think I changed my mind. Yeah, let's fall in love for the fun of it. Dive in at first and all of it. Oh, what a rush, looking into your eyes, playing it off like it's different this time. Let's break our own hearts for the fun of it. One look and I'm done.
So I picked up all of these apart from the black cherry. So I will pop up some pictures now of black cherry. This is number 104. And the information on this is this glow butter is the high shine treatment infused with a peptide and a ceramide duo, which instantly enhances the lips and is made from 90% ingredients of natural origin. Its formula strikes the perfect balance between a balm and a gloss. It provides 24 hours of deep hydration and adds a touch of colour and shine for radiant lips and natural looks. And there's definitely 2 finishes in this, which you would have seen from my video, because there's one that's a shimmer finish and one that's just a gloss. And the price on these, they are not cheap, any of them. These are £33. The glow sticks are £37. And the Backstage Rosy Glow Blush, this one is £35. I think this is probably my most expensive Dior haul, in all honesty. Not necessarily because they cost so much, because Backstage products tend to be less than the slightly more expensive line from Dior, but I got a lot of shades, but it's still not a cheap purchase. So it's definitely worth thinking through which one of these is likely to work for you. So hopefully I can help you with that today. So let's dive straight in with my first look. So I'm going to start with the 001 Pink, and I'm going to do the glowy blush on this side, the powder blush on this side, and then combine the 2 and finish with the lips. And that's how I'm going to do all of these looks. So here I haven't powdered my cheek. This side I have. I've got virtually nothing on my face. You can see how plain my face is now. That is intentional, so you can see the addition of these colours. So I've got no bronzer on my cheek at all, just a tiny bit of contour in the contour line there, and that is it. So what I think for the first look, I might change it up as I go through with the others, but for the first look, I'm just going to swatch it on. That is giving a fair bit of impact there, isn't it? I'm going to use my Mario F4 to blend this out. I do prefer to put my brush normally to the product, but swatching it on, that's gone on very, very easily. Very sheer, the first layer is quite light. I'm not going to take it up very high or too much into the eye because I'm going to be washing off every look. I will only do that on my very last look, unless I forget, as I often do. I think I can build that one up a fair bit more. So when you put it on like that, it looks very bright, but then as you blend it out, it is supposed to adjust to your skin tone as well, so keep that in mind. It's probably adjusting, but it's also quite sheer. Look at that glow. It's certainly blending out beautifully, very, very easily, but this is going on top of cream, not powder. We will be trying it on top of powder as well today. That is beautiful. My thinking on these though is I think I'm going to prefer them in combination with the powder. and I'm not sure which order I would like to go in, as in this then powder or vice versa, but we will try both ways so we can find out. I think I can still go in with quite a bit more. So this is my third swatch of it now. This is probably the lightest of all of them, this shade, for my skin tone. So that's the third swatch, and I think I'm getting probably more than enough for my skin tone now. So it's definitely buildable. Very pretty, a very natural glow, very, very natural. It's not over the top by any means. It's giving me a big glow, but it's a mature skin friendly glow. I don't see it particularly emphasising my lines. Very, very pretty, but I think I'm going to prefer this on top of powder. That's how I love products like this, so I really hope this works on top of powder. So speaking of powder, let's try the new formulated powder. So this is 001 Pink as well, just like with the glow stick. Taking this on my Refa blush brush. That's how much I just picked up. I think I'll be safe with this. Straight away, I'm seeing it on my face. This has never happened to me before with this line, with this colour pink. I normally have to do it about 4 times before I start to see it. So immediately that's telling me this is much more pigmented than the previous ones. And that was the first swipe. That's gone on beautifully. So let's go for another swipe to test the buildable claim. And yes, that's definitely building as well. And it goes on really beautifully. No patchiness, really soft and natural. So this one is the natural finish, not the pearlescent. Is it pearlescent they called it? We'll find out when we get to the next one, but basically this is the one with less shimmer and less shine, more of a powdery finish. Oh, that is really nice. So both of them giving a very natural glow, but obviously this one giving me more of a wet look glow, and this one giving me more of the powdered glow. My last look, I probably will go in and tidy up the edges of these blushes and give them a more softened edge. This is a bit of a rough look because I'm going to be washing off, but that is how the powder looks on its own and the glow stick on its own. So now what I want to try is the powder over the glow stick. I think it's nice to have a powder to set down something like a glow stick because it takes down the glow a little bit. What I didn't check actually, which I can still do there where I haven't quite got powder, is how tacky it feels. And it's not very tacky. It is reasonably tacky, but not very. I will check again more thoroughly with the next one though. I should have checked when it was completely powder free. So there's the powder sitting on top, and immediately that's really intensifying the shade. But you can still see the glow coming through from the glow stick. But I think what would probably give you a much more intense look, and this time I won't swipe on, I don't want to remove the powder. I'm going to take the F4 Mario brush with some of this and take it across the top. Whoa, that looks huge, but remember how sheer this is. But this is now going on top of powder, which always means the pigment is more. So, and it is, look at that, the pigment is really popping on top of a powder. Remember how much it just vanished on this side? And now here on this side on top of powder, it's not vanishing anything like as quickly. So if you've just got a powdered face, no blush underneath, you're going to see a lot more colour from this the minute it goes on top of powder. And this is how I suspected I would prefer to use it. And now that I've seen it, I immediately prefer this side. So for me, it's going to be powder then this, or even this, powder then this. So all three, if I'm having a bougie day. Oh, that is lovely. That is really, really nice. It needs a lot of tidying up. Keep in mind, there's nothing on eyes or lips at the moment, so it stands out a bit too much, and I'm not going in to buff around the edges with some sort of finishing powder as I usually do. That is definitely my favourite look. Which is yours? The glow stick on its own, the powder on its own, or the glow stick with a powder on top, or the powder with a glow stick on top? Both are winners though. Both are very exciting products for me. They're performing fabulously, and I've never been the biggest fan of these because they just don't give me enough. And these are giving me enough, so that's really encouraging. So let's now try the lip product. This one I'm expecting to see virtually no colour, but this has a lovely, lovely shimmer to it. So this one is glazed pink. There you can see the glazed colour. Look at that shine. Gorgeous. It's got a lovely sweet fragrance. Like sweets. Like it is like being in a sweet shop. But a really nice smell. Really nice. Oh, that is really nice. It's giving me Ole Henriksen Lip Peptide Thickness, if you know that formula, which is my favourite lip balm. It's giving me that same level of thickness and grip and hydration. Then it's bringing that little pop of pink and it's giving me the most beautiful shimmer. And I'm sitting here 2 hours later and I've still got the hydration firmly on my lips from this, and I'm on my second coffee or halfway through. Sorry about the snoring sound, that's Flurry, my dog. Oh, this is a 10 out of 10 plus more. This really is. This lip glow better. I have to check the name already. Oh, I love it. Very slightly feeling a cool sensation, but it's incredibly slight. I can hardly feel anything actually. What do you think of that? So there we have the pink. Let's move on to the next shade. So that's all gone, but even after wiping my lips, I can still feel quite a deep layer of hydration, which really shows how good that is as a hydrating lip balm sort of product. So now I'm going to move to the shade Candy. So I think I've established that as long as there's no powder, I can definitely apply this directly to the cheek. I'm using exactly the same brush, which I've just slightly cleaned off. So again, on this side, no powder has been applied, so this one's going exactly the same. So I won't go into the details every time I do this, because I'm going to do exactly the same routine. Oh, that is a beautiful shade. I love that. I think I prefer Candy, you know, to the pink straight away. It's also giving a lot more pigment because I'm feeling like I don't want to add much more. So if you're light, fair to light like me, you don't need a lot of this, but if you're light to medium, I think you're going to really get on well with this shade. That is a lot of pigment, isn't it? Just for the little amount I've applied. I'm putting it in my eye, I told you I'd forget. Useless. Oh, I love that. So I'm going to leave that exactly as it is and then move to the Candy in the powder. Now this one definitely has that sort of shimmer pearlescent finish, so it's not just the natural. I don't know if it says that on the back. No, it just says natural, but this definitely seems to have a sort of slight glitter in it. I don't know if you can see it if I get close up. Can you see the sort of bits of glitter there as I turn it? So let's take some. Going by the glow stick, I might need to be a bit more careful with how much I apply of this one. So I'm using the same brush, which I will do for the whole application. I'm just going to clean off in between. That is very pigmented. See, these are promising pigment and they are delivering on pigment for both products, but especially this one, because when this launched, or when I saw adverts for this coming, my initial thoughts were, I'm not going to buy these because these are useless. I don't need any more, until I read that they'd been reformulated specifically so they were buildable and more pigmented. Then it got my interest, and they are delivering. They are delivering on that promise, because I can't even go back in for a second sweep of that. It'd be way too much for my skin tone. So if you're light to medium, or maybe even slightly deeper, maybe tan tones even would get on well with this. It's got a lot of pigment. I think it's so pretty. I do think that when I've just got the glow with no powder, it's too glowy, too much of a wet look for me. Depends how you prefer your makeup to look. This is a product I really like to use, but never just like that straight onto a cream. Not for me personally. So now let's see, I don't know how pigmented this is going to get, but let's see if I take some of the powder and put it over. It's going to get too much for my skin tone, is what I'm thinking, but anyway. Oh God, it does look nice though. Way, way, way too deep for my skin tone. But if I go in with a buffer and buff that out, I just think the combination of the two creates such a beautiful colour. It looks a bit shocking on me, but I'm pretty convinced that I could calm that down and be very happy with it. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Pink, I think I would use in the Heart, the Soulmates collection, if you know the one I'm talking about, or any sort of finishing powder around the edges of that to really soften that out, and then have eyes and lips to match. And I think that would look gorgeous. I think what I will do for now is just go around with my foundation brush to soften. I think that's done a pretty good job of already calming it down. They look beautiful together like that. So with this one, I really like the powder on top of the glow stick, but will I prefer it the other way around on this side? I'll find out now. So taking some on the brush. Actually, I think I'm going to actually tap this onto the back of my hand first, because I'm a bit nervous about how pigmented this is. So now I'm taking this on top of the powder. I think this gives more of a sort of wow, because the powder is more glowy than the pink 001 that we've tried, and we're putting a glowy product on top of a glowy blush, so we're getting double the glow. I mean, what could be fun here is trying this with the pink and mixing them. You don't have to use the same shade, so that's something for another day. Maybe look out in my shorts reels in the future, and maybe I'll try something like this on top of the lighter pink and just mix them together. But obviously this one's more of a warm finish, but why not play around with them? And certainly if you pick up more than one, why not play around with the effect you get when you mix them? I do think the finish on my skin tone is better again with glow stick on top of powder, because if you can see on this side I still look a little bit too glassy and slightly emphasising my texture more than I prefer. Again, I forgot to feel it, didn't I, before I added powder. It's not bugging me, the tackiness from this glow stick, but certainly when I feel it on top of powder, it's much better. That's definitely going to be the winning way of doing it for me, for my skin tone, for my preferences, and for the level of glow. So I don't have a lip shade from the Butter that actually matches this, so I'm going to try it with one of the most pigmented ones I picked up, and this one doesn't have shimmer in it. This one is the lychee colour. So this one should be, I think, the most pigmented from the collection even. Although Black Cherry might be a little darker. Yeah, you can see quite a lot of pigment with that, can't you? So that's good to know. So this is bringing all the glow without the shimmer, but it is bringing a lot of pigment, and it actually works very nicely with this blush, I think. That is lovely. So far this review is going very, 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 very well, because I am loving them. Oh Dior, you have done something special with this collection. I think you really have. So that is the candy glow stick and the powder on my cheeks, and then we have lychee on the lips. And let's move to the next one. So next I'm moving on to Rosewood for the glow stick and the powder. I don't have a lip butter to match this, so I've left lychee on my lips so we can see how lychee looks with these. So just quickly, before I do start with this, I do have this in the second reformulated version. So let's compare the two. So there's the second one, and here is the new one. So again, not looking completely the same. I'd say the new one looks a little bit deeper actually. So let's swatch. So the second reformulation was the one I was most unhappy with, I'd say, but not really this shade. I wasn't that unhappy with this shade. So this is the second one and this is the new one. Look very similar there. Whoa, what a difference. Second one, new one. I told you the pigment is different, and you can see in that swatch, that's a rough swatch, and you can see I've picked up little bits of powder that need to be worked out a bit there, which I'm not getting with that. So I'd need to really try and build up with that second one. It's got such a very dry finish, this secondary formulation. So this is me trying to build up the second one, and it's still nowhere near as powerful as that first swatch of the new one. And now if I go to build the new one, again, picking up so much more on my finger. And again, look how buildable it is. They're just like different products. They really have delivered on their promises this time. everyone that's been unhappy with these products, you're going to be very pleased, I think, if you try these. So here is the glow stick in Rosewood. I know Rosewood is a very, very popular shade, a shade that I personally love, even though it's quite a deep shade for my skin tone, so I might need to be a bit careful. Oh, it's such a beautiful colour. And certainly that one swatch of this one is bringing enough pigment for me. I would not need to go in with another swipe of this. So whilst it is sheer, it's pigmented enough, definitely, for my skin tone. Oh, it's lovely. Really, really nice. And I think it goes quite well with the lychee on my lips as well. Oh, that is so pretty. I said I would tell you how tacky it feels on its own. It's not very tacky at all, actually. Coming from the person who cannot tolerate any tackiness, that's not bad. That is not a tackiness that makes me think I have to powder because my hair will stick to my face. It's very mild tackiness, to be fair. It's just very shiny, very glass skin, and too shiny for me on its own. So now on the blush side, I think I'm going to have to be very careful with this one. You saw the swatch on my hand, so I'm literally going to pat in to start with. And I think that's already enough. Who'd have thought I'd be saying that about a Dior Backstage blush, that one dab was enough for my whole cheek. So if you've got deep skin tones, I think you'll love this. This is going to look beautiful, I think, on all skin tones, I think, because I think when you're fair like me, you can be superbly careful. If you're light to medium, this is going to be almost perfect with a normal application of just one reasonable swirl through and up. And then if you're tan to deep or deep, I think that if you really swirl around, you're going to get a really good payoff with this. So this is going to make a lot of people happy. I think I don't really want more, but I'll do one more tap. And it really is a tap and not a swirl. But we've seen from on the back of my hand how buildable this is. Like with the pink, I'm not seeing bits of shimmer in this one, so I don't think this one has that sort of pearlescent finish. It's more of a, certainly not flat matte or anything like that, it's a glowy finish, but it's not as glowy as Candy. So now I'm going to take the powder of Rosewood, one dab again. And I'm pretty certain I'm going to think this is way too much because of how deep the skin tone, the shade is for my skin tone. But that's how the two of them sit together. Definitely too much for me, and definitely something I need to calm down. I've lost my foundation brush. If I just take that around for now. I do think that together these are beautiful, so I'm sorry, but I have to recommend that you pick them both the glow stick and the powder. I wouldn't choose one over the other. I would say the combination of the two is gorgeous. This way is gorgeous, but this way is even more gorgeous for me. So I'm going to take a little bit now of Rosewood on the glow from the glow stick. Just look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Again, needs to be severely calmed down for me. My poor cheeks, they are taking quite a pounding. I'm wondering if they're getting a bit red from all the products going on and off today. But it does calm down quite easily with the foundation brush, and it also will with the finishing powder. Definitely the winning side again for me, because it just has that light sort of natural glow over the top of that powder. Whereas here we've definitely got that wet look. So again, that's down to preference. So there we have Rosewood in the glow stick or the powder and the two combinations. Now on to the next one. So next I'm moving on to the pink lilac, and I did want to save this till last because lilac is my favourite shade, but I didn't. I thought I'll just change it up and be different today. So we're going to go with this one next, and I do have this in the second reformulation. This was my most disappointing blush from Dior in the history of Dior purchases. This one just, I got nothing from this one, and it seemed to hard pan. I think it did anyway. I was actually removing it. I took the whole layer off several times. So here is the second reformulation and here is the new one. So here is the second reformulation there, and here is the new one in my middle finger. And now let's look at the swatch. If you ever want confirmation on the difference between these two, that's the second one. And that's the new one. The new one, like with the other ones I've shown you, you can actually see chunks of powder. So a lot of powder comes off. It is very different. And I'll go in for a second so we can see the buildable nature of both of these. This is the second reformulation built up against the new one not built up. And here is a second swatch now of the new one. So you can see how this one builds. They are just different products. Complete. This is exactly what I needed this one to be. This one is useless. See, I can't even point at it because I can't see it. It's just hardly there. So this new one is perfect. Hopefully it'll look perfect on the cheeks anyway. I'm very excited to try the stick version of this. Let's get it on. Oh, look at that. Beautiful shade. A lot more pigmented than that pink as well. I know we often see the lilac and lavenders as having less pigment and less sort of effect than pinks, but I think this one has more pigment than the pink and definitely shows up more. It's less sheer. The only one I thought was super sheer and melted away to nothing and needed several layers was the pink. I went in 3 times to get my desired colour. I would say that one swipe of the pink lilac is enough for my skin tone. And I am the fair light, cool tone sort of target audience for this sort of colour. So if you wanted to build this up, and I'll show you just one, but I really don't need to, then definitely darker skin tones can get away with this one if it's going to suit you. If you've got the undertones that can carry this sort of colour, this is going to show up on lots of people. Oh, it is really, really, really beautiful. I love it. Oh, wow. I would love to go fully lilac now, but I'm not doing it. I'm going to be different today. So now let's go in with the powder. Again, I'm going to be pretty careful, but I will swipe rather than one dab. One swipe and straight away you're really seeing it. Not too much, but you are seeing it. So I think I can go in for another. I've gone for a double swipe. Very visible. And this one is, it's not got any shimmer in the formula. It almost needs a bit of glow. It's like you need to have that glow stick to give that extra bit of glow over the top. So this is powder on top of powder, remember. This one's cream on top of cream. So now let's see this powder going on top of the glow stick. Whoa, look how much pigment I've got doing it that way. Every time I say that, don't I? I'm becoming like a stuck record. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Way too much for me. It's really interesting the effect it has. You see the glow stick coming through with the powder over the top. It's very beautiful, isn't it? Quick calm down with my foundation brush. Oh, that is gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. And now a bit of the glow stick on top of the powder. Yep, that was everything I needed it to be. Look at the beauty of that. Oh, wow. There's the favourite combo, as expected. Oh, wow. If you're cool toned like me, fair skin, this combination is going to be wonderful. It's very, very pigmented, but it's beautiful. Never thought I'd be saying about the strength of pigment with this release. Honestly, every time I say it, it shocks me. It's so easy to calm down. Instant. These are very, very easy to work with, these formulas. They are gorgeous. They really are. So again, we've got that much more glassy wet look finish. Or we've got this one, which is the one I prefer, with powder with a little bit of glow. I do think this is going to be the mature skin favoured choice when it comes to application. Maybe younger skins are going to like this one. And now for the lip butter, I've been looking forward to using the Absolute Most from swatching it because it looks sensational. You saw the swatch video. I don't need to say much more, do I? Look, look. And I love the smell. I love the sweet fragrance on it. It's really nice. It's not the same as the Fenty. If you're thinking of the Fenty, I'm rubbish at describing fragrances, but this does smell like you've stepped into a very posh sweet shop, shall we say. Well, I am a collector of lilac makeup, and this is up there with one of the best in my lilac collection already. Look at that. Imagine this as a topper on top of your favourite lilac lipstick. But on its own it is stunning. Well then, it's no surprise this is my favourite look. The Pink Lavender Glow Stick Powder and Glow Lips. Time to take this off and go for the final look. Just quickly showing you what my cheeks look like when I remove the makeup. Look how red my face has got from doing this on and off. So to be fair to the blush for the last look, I'm going to put on some sort of corrector before I put my foundation on. I wouldn't recommend taking your makeup on and off 5 times. Your cheeks will look like this. So now for my final look, I'm going to be using the Toffee, which is a new shade, I believe. I think that the candy one as well might have been new. The others are repeat shades. I believe that's right, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So this is the one I'm going to finish with because I wanted to try this shade on the eyes, not the glow stick, the powder. Isn't that gorgeous? So definitely more of a warm tone, but a beautiful, beautiful tone, and probably perfect for lighter skin tones like mine. And the reason I wanted to finish with this one today and not the lilac is I think that this could be a perfect summer look, this shade. Whereas the lilac, whilst I'm happy to wear it all year round, I see it is more as a sort of winter and spring shade. And a shade like this, wow. That's my second favourite after lilac, definitely. That is beautiful. Let me just build that up a bit. This is definitely a lovely summer shade. So I'm hoping that blush will be a nice sort of one and done wash across the eyes. And here is the Toffee powder. Again, I'm not seeing any sort of sparkle in that one, so it was just the candy that I saw that sparkle in. I'm going to be reasonably generous in how much I take on the brush, because it doesn't seem to be too pigmented. I think this and the pink are probably the lightest if you've got a light skin tone. So I did not expect lilac to be stronger than 2 of the shades, but definitely this one and the pink are the lightest. Well, I said that this one didn't have a shine in it, but it does. So this one must have it. Can you see any in there? When I turn it, can you see a bit of glitter? It's not as visible as it was with the candy, but it's definitely showing up on my cheeks. I can see gold. Can you see that? Definitely quite a big wash of gold there. Which I like, but I don't know if I love it. I love this shade. You only see the gold when you turn, so I don't know. Not sure what you think of it. And this side is so glossy, definitely in need of a bit of powder. So let's do that. Let's put this powder on top. But if it's that glowy, straight away it looks so good though. Can you see the gold? It really pops when I put it on top of there. Look at that. Definitely a summer look. But when I see that gold, that's telling me light to medium are going to get on very well with this, and doubled up with this. Look at that. Look at the pigment. So whilst it is the lightest with that initial application, built up, this could go up to a good few skin tones. These products are very versatile. I can see most skin tones probably trying any of these shades. Just make your preference between warm and cool tones, and I think you'll be able to get a look out of these no matter what. Light application, doubling up, mixing them together, you're going to get something different. And now taking the stick across the top of the cheek there. Oh, it looks lovely on there. Again, the winning combo. And this time I'm going to start taking it actually all the way across my eye. I will go in with more detail, but I'm just going to start it So it's a really easy look because it's all going to fuse together and look exactly the same. So that's a little bit of the stick really mixed with the powder going into the eye. And as I'm finishing off my look, I'm just taking a little bit more bronzer now across the forehead. I was trying to really tone everything down so you just see the blushes. So I'm using my Chanel Les Beige in the lightest shade, the cream. I already had this on underneath powder. I'm just putting a little bit more on top. And as I kept saying, I would finish my look with a finishing powder. So this time I will. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury, the Soulmates Pillow Talk Flawless Peach. So I'm going into the airbrush powder there with my Buffer Pro, and I'm going to take this now around the edges. And you see how instantly that just smooths it and makes it work every time. So you're seeing more pigment still on this side, because that was the side where we started with the stick, and that always seems to give it more oomph when I seem to do the stick first followed by the powder. So for that reason I'm going to take some of this powder actually across the top now to calm it down so that each side is even. And that's the finish I prefer. Doing that is sort of giving it the same finish I had here from powder with a little bit of stick on the top. So it's given me a little bit of a healthy glow, and that's about as much as I want for my personal choice. And now I'm going to go in with my Blender Pro from, not Pro, I always say that, Blender brush from Victoria Beckham into the Toffee and start taking it into the eye. So I'm going to start by building it in the outer V, run it into the crease, bring it out again to meet here where we've already started placing it. Start taking it across the whole of the lid. And then I'm going to go in with some brown eyeliner and mascara, which I'll do off camera, and you can see the final look. But I think that that is, as I expected, a beautiful shade for the eyes and superbly easy, especially when it's already the colour sitting here. So it's just going to come out and meet it without you having to worry. So it's a really quick, easy look, which you can probably do with all of the blushes I've tried today. But going for the summer look, I think this is my top choice. So I'll see you when I finish my eyes. I finished my eyes with a bit of brown liner and mascara, nothing else. So the only thing in my eyes is the blush, and you can really see the glow coming through from that gold, which I think looks beautiful on the eyes. And now that it's calmed down on the cheeks, I love it too. So that actually might be my favourite over lilac, even though I loved lilac. But let's finish it off now with the lip butter that matches this. So this is also in the Toffee shade. This one doesn't have any shimmer. That's how it looks before I blend it in. So that's definitely given me some pigment, and it's definitely working very well, obviously, with the same shade, the Toffee shade. They work together very nicely. It's definitely given me more colour than I expected. I wasn't expecting much from this one, but it's given me enough. A very sort of neutral, everyday sort of shade for me. I do prefer the ones with a little bit of shimmer, but obviously not everyone does. That doesn't mean I don't like these, because I do. I love the glow, I love the finish, I love the thickness, the hydration of them. I love the packaging. I love the little charm they've added on. I think it is just beautiful. But this is my winning combination, definitely. Obviously it's the only one I've tried on the eyes. I do need to maybe try Candy on the eyes, because that one had a bit of shimmer. So I'll probably do that in a shorts reel. I think all of this collection has given me a lot of thought for doing different shorts reels, so do look out for that. And if you've got any requests for me to combine them in a different way, please let me know and I will do them in a shorts reel for you. But yeah, this one's my favourite look. Luckily, saving it till last. I thought it would be, and it was. Well, I thought lilac would be my favourite actually, but for a summer look I thought this would be my favourite. But I think it might be my winner overall. But the lilac lip, that's definitely my favourite. Ask me tomorrow and I might say lilac's my favourite. Let's just call them joint top. Anyway, which was your favourite out of all of the different looks I've tried, and which sort of combinations do you think you most prefer? Or maybe you don't prefer the idea of a combination, maybe you prefer to have just the blush in powder form or just the blush in the glowy stick form. But for me, this is the way I would personally do it, and definitely the way I would recommend to you, especially if you've got mature skin. I would go for the full package. I would pick the shade you like the most. I would go for the, if you can find the matching shades with the lip. Not always, you can't always get a direct match, but if you can't, you might get one that works very well with it. I think you'll be able to. You've seen from this, I've used shades like the lychee, for instance, with shades that aren't necessarily corresponding, but it worked very nicely. So my recommendation would definitely, from a blush point of view, be to try a stick and a powder and put them on together, because I think that's really lovely. Powder first, stick second is my top personal choice. But both of them work lovely. I'm sure you saw on this side it did work very well. Very easy to calm down, very easy to build up. Buildable is the word of the day. These are buildable. These do pack a punch. These are going to be very flexible. They're going to be very suitable for all skin tones. I think everybody's going to be delighted with this release. I think that Dior have literally smashed it out of the park. It's their release of the year without any question for me. This is a stunning release. I'm so excited to play more and more and more with this whole collection. I really am. And it was a big investment, this one, for my channel, a big one and a scary one. And was it worth it? For me, I think it really was, because I'm delighted and I can't wait to show you more looks in my shorts reel. So please do look out for those. And if you have enjoyed this, I would love it ever so much if you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. And before I go, a very quick thank you once again to Rose Forever for my beautiful, beautiful gift. I cannot wait to put it somewhere next to a photo of my mum. It's going to be a very special place. I might add a picture of that into this video at some point. You might have already seen it. Anyway, that's all from me for today. I do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.